Now, you've probably heard the story of the man who was trying to get into heaven, and he met Peter at the gate, and Peter said, "Well, what have you done in your life to get into heaven?" The man said, "What have I done? What do you mean, what have I done?" And Peter said, "Well, you have to earn 1,000 points in order to get into heaven, and I judge your points based on what you've done." And the man thought, and he came up with this long list of things like going to church and volunteering at the animal shelter, and being a good parent, a good husband, a good co-worker, and I mean, he was coming up with thing after thing after thing after thing. And Peter said, "Well, so far you haven't earned any points yet." The man started to become frazzled, and he thought and he thought and he thought, and he remembered that time when there was that new kid in school, and everybody picked on him. And instead of picking on him, he became his friend, and he would sit with him at lunch when he was all by himself. He would bring him home after school, and they would play together, and they became good friends. And this was the only friend this new child had in the entire school, and he became such good friends with him that he was almost part of the family. And as he was telling the story, Peter had a little tear in his eye, and the man looked up to Peter and said, "Well, how many points was that worth?" Peter said, "Well, that was one of the greatest things I've ever heard. One of the greatest stories I've ever heard. That's worth at least 2 points." 2 points? And I've got to get 1,000? Man, that's not fair. The only way that I'm going to get into heaven is by the grace of God. And Peter said, "You got it right. There's 998 points right there." It's a good thing that life's not fair. It's a good thing that we have a merciful God. And this Sunday, we're going to be continuing our series on the Jesus Code. And we're going to look at the parable of the workers in the vineyard, and talking about how life is not fair. And that's a good thing. So I hope that you'll join us this Sunday. And I hope you have a great weekend, and stay safe.